Hello, YouTubers. It's Barbie J here. Welcome to my channel, June BLC. Hey there, everybody. It's your girl, Barbie J here with the recap and review of The Equalizer, Season 4, Episode 8, Condemned. And yes, this was another good episode. Now, I apologize for this being late, but as y'all can hear from my voice, it's going in and out because I had no voice on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. So this is the best I could do, and it's Wednesday. So this review recap is going to be short and sweet. And for those of you who are new to this channel or are returning and have not subscribed as of yet, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all. It'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, write a comment, join the conversation, and share because sharing is caring. So now this episode starts off with Aunt Vi and Robin in the kitchen, and Robin is happy to have a day off to attend this block party that they're talking about. So she's sitting there going, I finally have some fun like a normal person. And Aunt Vi has just finished cooking this peach cobbler because she's ready to enter a contest against her rival who Vi has won first place for the last 2 years, and her rival Barbara is about to get it. She said she ready to hand it to her. So anyway, Dee comes in and lets them know that she convinced her dad, that's Miles, to attend. So he changed his shift to hang out with them, and Aunt Vi and Robin glance and give themselves a look. So then Dante calls Robin at that moment, and with a smile on his face, he's in the car saying he's going to be working the grill at the community outreach table. He said this would be a good chance for the neighborhood to get to know the NYPD. And he's so excited about getting a chance to spend some time with her. And Robin's like, I can't wait. But he said as soon as he gets back from the funeral, he'll let her know. He has to escort his dad there to one of his old partners' funeral, but it's over state lines in New Jersey. So she's like, okay, cool. So at the block party, we learned that Harry loves peach cobbler. And while he was over at the pie contest table, he volunteered to be a judge since one of the judges didn't show up. And we see Miles over there getting his dance on while Dee and Robin are watching and laughing. Then Dee sees a friend of hers named Cam. And we saw Cam in some previous episodes in a previous season. She had introduced him to Aunt Vi, and he had told her that he's not going to college. And I remember Aunt Vi shot Dee a look like, really? Not understanding that. But anyways, Cam is with his boy, and he introduced him to Dee, and his name is Tyrese. And Dee makes note of his new sneakers that he got on Kicks, and he's like, oh, thank you, all that. They're white sneakers. Anyway, he leaves. Cam and Dee are talking and catching up, and he lets her know that the app that he launched called Premium Kicks is taking off and doing well. So Dee tells him that not going to college was a good thing for him, and that she's been reconsidering college herself. And Cam was feeling that, not going into student debt made him ahead of the game, financially. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Meanwhile, we have Dante and his dad, Big Ben, in a car heading to that funeral in New Jersey when their car gets cut off by a black Jeep. And Dante starts driving in reverse real quick, and the chase begins. And they're shooting at them and everything. And they end up turning into a lot and crashing. The car crashed, and Dante and his father is like messed up. The father got out first, and the men start shooting. His father, I forgot, was a police officer, so when he pulled the gun out and started pop, 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 he got both of them in 2 shots, goes over to Dante, who in the driver's side all jacked up and everything. He got blood on his head and a piece of glass in his thigh. So he has to pull it out, and then his father helps him to get into one of those warehouses or something that's in that area. And when they get into the warehouse, they start trying to figure out what in the world is going on? What's happening? Why they shooting us? So they arguing. Dante think it's some of his pops, old people who going after him. His father said, you a detective. They could be going after you too. And what they realizing is whoever they going after, if they have a plan to get them, then there's a backup plan. So now they got to figure out how they going to get out of this mess. Meanwhile, back at the block party, we see Miles looking at Rob and watching her interact with her friends. And when Mel and Harry walk away, he goes, "Now those two are part of your team." She's like, "What team?" And he was like, "Come on, Rob, you know what I'm talking about. I missed that back in the day when we used to be, helping each other and working together in the field with all the action and stuff." And she said, "Look, I need to think about it. It's not just my decision. Give me more time." And he was like, "Remember when you came to my house those two times with people who needed to be helped, and I helped you and fixed them up with no questions asked?" She said, "Oh, they was questions asked." And I was sitting there going, not only was there questions asked, but he tried to use that against her when he was trying to get D and take D away from her. Y'all remember that? When he was trying to play that card and saying that what Robin is dealing with and everything. You see how men are? Now that fact that he don't have that young wife anymore, now he trying to go back to Robin, who was the good thing. Come on, Miles, come on with that. So anyway, Robin is like, "Nah, I got to think about it." He's like, "Well, let's play a game of horse." And she's like, like play for it. She's like, "This ain't the type of thing you play for." He said, "You act like you scared or whatever," or something like that. So anyway, they played a game and Miles lost. And then after he lost, he said he has to run, and then had the nerve to say, "This was fun. Maybe we could do this again sometime and go hang out, go out for dinner." And she said, "Okay, I'll check D's schedule." He said, "Not D, just me and you." And then he kissed her on the cheek and left. And I'm like, "Uh-oh, wait a minute." So then we have Dee and Cam. They're walking and they hear commotion, and we find out that somebody stole the money in a college fund box that they were collecting money for this kid, Kevin, to go to college. The guy who was supposed to be watching the box ran to the bathroom and left the money there. I said, "Stupid, you should have took it with you, because it was just a tin little box." But the money got stolen, so everybody's asking around. Dee said, "Oh, there go Cam. I mean, there go Tyrese. Let's ask your friend Tyrese. Did he see anything?" He gets defensive. "Why y'all asking me?" Blah, 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 And it's like, no, we just asking around. People want to know. And he said it wasn't me. And then he left, took a phone call. Dee was like, "Well, he really acts strange." And she's like, she was coming up with this scenario. And it looked like, to me, when you hear it, sound like she was blaming his friend, because he was acting suspicious. And Cam was like, "Yo, I've known him for a long time. He's a good guy. He didn't take it, and I'm not going to start accusing my friend of stealing." Then Mel came over, and she said, well, she saw somebody with a video camera or something like that. She'll see and check around to see if they caught any images. Then back over to Robin, she tells Aunt Vi that she thinks the Miles asked her out on a date, and she's like, "Oh, spill the tea." And she's telling everything. And then Vi said, "Right, wait a minute. Isn't Dante supposed to be here?" And Robin's like, "Yeah, he was supposed to be back a while ago." So she went over to Harry and let Harry know that there's an issue, because she's been calling his phone, and the outreach table have been calling his phone, and it's going to voicemail. So Harry pulls out his iPad and does his thing with MEL and says he'll take care of it. And Rob is like, "Okay, cool." So Harry does that and goes back to judging the peach cobbler contest. So now in another area of the block party, Dee and Cam are talking, and Cam says, "I'm going to prove to you that Tyrese didn't do it." So they find Tyrese. He asks him for the keys to go and check his car for something. And when he unzips his little backpack, all the money is in there. You see it. And they like, "Yo, where you get all that money from?" And he pulls out a gun on them and threatens them, and telling his life story, what's going on, how his mother is mental, how he has two little sisters who are hungry all the time. He's working two jobs and all of this stuff. So, as he's telling the story, and Delilah, she trying to talk him down off a ledge, and there's other ways. "Let us help you." He said, "I don't need your sympathy and stuff." And then Mel comes, "Hey, what's going on?" And he runs, and Mel's about to chase him, and Dee stops her and tells her, "Let him go, let him go." Because she feels sorry for him, I guess. That's what it is. When you hear these stories and what people going through, if he calls and reports his mother, his two little sisters are going to go into foster care. Their family will be split up. So that's why he's doing this stuff. So now back to the peach cobbler contest. Aunt Vi's cobbler wins, and Barbara's upset, thinking that the fix is in because Vi knows Harry. And then Harry goes into this whole description saying her putting that little hint of paprika in there was very unusual, but he said he could taste it. He said the only time he's ever tasted that was in a peach cobbler was at Sylvia's in Harlem. I was like, holla, holla. I know the owners of Sylvia's. Anyway, he's telling them that. And Vi is like, what? And she ran over there and tasted that cobbler. And Harry said, well, we could always call up Sylvia's and see if a barber bought a cobbler lately. And Vi was like, I can't believe you cheated like that. And she was like, whatever. And she walked away calling her Viola. She wouldn't call her Viola, it's Viola. And she was a cheat. Anyway, at that moment, Harry's iPad is beeping and he's like, uh-oh, this is not good. They find out that Dante never made it to New Jersey. His license plate never passed over the bridge or toll or anything. So he lets Robin know and they all go together looking for him. Meanwhile, back at the warehouse, Dante realizes that these guys that he see, the Blancos, are maybe after him. And he apologizes to his father for saying that he ruined his life. And his father said, you did this on your own. You should have never volunteered to take me over line. He said, I didn't volunteer. They told me you wanted me to take him. He said, no, I didn't. He said, who told you that? He said, your parole officer. Her name is Addie. I never seen her before. He said, my parole officer is Frank Mahoney. So they realizing that these guys set them up so they could get both father and son at the same time. So Dante was able to take down 6 of the guys. There was one guy still around, but he went to find his father who was bleeding out. And like I told you, the father felt like confessing and told Dante that he had a brother named James. And Dante was not happy. And James is the reason why, going to see James is the reason why his father stood up Dante's sons for the Yankee game. Anyhow, I just felt like telling y'all that part. So he tried to get his father up and try to get up out of there. And the last shooter shows up. And before he could shoot them, Robin was behind him and shot him. So Robin said, hold on, we have an ambulance on the way. And then it cuts over to the hospital. And Robin could tell something's wrong with Dante. And she asks him what's up. And he finally tells her that he has a brother. And that his father felt like, I guess, confessing to him and stuff. And so Dante was pissed about it. He talked about all the years his mother and him was worried about the father. Meanwhile, he was playing Father of the Year to some other family, all this stuff. So Dante got mad. Robin tried to console him and was rubbing his arm and telling him don't do that to himself because he was a child himself. But he walked away and said he can't be here right now. He was pissed. So then it switches over to the bar where Dee goes to see Mel and she sits down and talking to her and asking her not to tell her mother what happened. And she's like, oh, I'm down. I'm not interfering anymore. I said, one, you wouldn't be interfering by telling what happened. Dee should not be putting Mel in that position to keep secrets from her mother. And Mel should have told her that. I'm not going to be keeping secrets from your mom. But Dee's hand was still shaking from having that loaded gun pointed at her. And to me, that conversation she was having with Mel, she should have been having with her mother instead. So I don't understand that, why she didn't want her mother to know. But I feel it's important that Robin should know. And then this wonderful episode ended with Aunt Vi and Robin in the kitchen. And Robin is saying how she didn't even get a chance to get a day off. Her life is not normal. And she's starting to realize that the life that she has chosen to lead does not leave room for relationships, she said. And Aunt Vi is like, why? Aunt Vi disagreed with her. And Robin says she remembers all the reasons why her and Miles didn't make it. Her life is unpredictable. She got to keep secrets. She can't tell things. So, good old Aunt Vi. I love Aunt Vi. If nobody else in that place I love is Aunt Vi because she is for this relationship with Robin and Dante. And she says to Robin, what if there's a certain person you found that you could date that has a life that's just as unnormal as yours, unpredictable. You don't have to lie to them because they already know what you do. She said, would you happen to know a particular detective like that? And Robin looked at her like, all right, Aunt Vi. And I was like, yes, Aunt Vi. Anyway, that's how it went off. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I thought it was wonderful. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. This your girl Barbie J saying, oh, I can't wait to get my voice back because Sisters starts back next week, I think. Peace.